Hey guys, I'm going to make a video about pens I've been liking lately. And the first one is this. It's a Pentel Energel, and I just used two of these in a row and using them completely up. And I'd say they lasted probably like 2 weeks each of just, I don't know how many pages, but really not that many. And I've never really used these much. They're kind of office-y looking, so I kind of haven't really used any office-y pens for journaling most of the time, but the grip is kind of nice because it's smushy, it's decently thick, and you can kind of rest your hand on the paper with this pen more than some. Like this one I'm using with my nightstand notebook, and this one is a Barnes & Noble, and it kind of is hard to write with. Well, it's some other brand, I think, but like I got it at Barnes & Noble. It's kind of hard to write with because the owl is a little bit heavy, and so it kind of makes the pen want to tip over, and it's just super tiny, like needlepoint type pen. So this one's actually pretty hard to write with, and it makes my handwriting look weird. Though my handwriting is getting worse over the years. I was looking at some old journals this week, and my handwriting like a decade ago was so much better. But I liked looking through some of the old journals. If you kind of want to have a way to give yourself some credit and to see what all you've done and kind of like overcome or dealt with over the years, it's looking at old notebooks kind of is good for that. And reminiscing too. I haven't really looked at old notebooks that much. Probably not even, but maybe this is probably like the second time this year, and some years I don't even really look through old ones, so it's kind of rare, but I was in the mood for it this time. I started using this pen. This dinosaur is a gift, and its face cracks me up. And then I got these this week, and these are hilarious. It's a People Suck pack of pens. I'm not actually sure what brand this is. Fun Club? I've never heard of the brand, but these are just ballpoint, and I really like these kind of super dark ink. Like this one's a little bit, it's supposedly a 0.7, but it really doesn't look like that on paper. It looks more like a okay, it is a 0.7. It doesn't look as thick as some 0.7s, like a big 0.7, but I like that just because it's like a rich black ink that I can see easily. And then, where's the other pen? I'm trying to find it in a drawer, but earlier this year I used a purple Bic, just pretty much like straight through a journaling. I think it's probably the first Bic pen like this I've used in my life. And it's not as inky, so it's a little bit hard to see. And I noticed when I was looking through old notebooks from about 10-15 years ago, some of the ones that say like archival ink safe, or they're just really rich dark ink colors, kind of last better and they're easy to read after years. There was a few pens in old journals I just couldn't see well. Like some were just pastel marble pens that I've used over the years, or one was just a pink ink pen that the ink has kind of changed colors a little bit over the year and kind of it doesn't look as even anymore. I'm not sure what kind of pen that was back then, but I used to, when I first started journaling, I tried to find stuff that was archival ink and archival safe paper, and for probably a decade I just really don't care if it's archival safe. Like if it's something that I really want to last, like a family tree or autobiography, something, I would use an archival ink like a Jelly Roll pen. But for most stuff, my journals will probably outlast me by a lot. And I mean, not that I think anyone's gonna keep them after my demise, but like they'll last just fine the rest of my life. So I don't really try to find those types of inks, but I do like richer inks that I can see because I'm old, and the pens that I used even 5-10 years ago are so pastel that I can't really see them that well. Probably because the ink is the paper's a little bit more beige and kind of yellowed a little bit, and then partly just because I'm old now. Where is that pen? Okay, so I've showed you the Bic pen. There was a pack of, I think I actually used them all, a pack of Dollar Tree metallic gel pens that would last like 2 pages each or something that I used randomly this year. I mostly journal, I'm like on a sofa, even though it's really narrow and not comfortable, but I have a drawer full of pens right here, which is really convenient. I haven't really used a pen case this year. I got one at Walmart that's like because it was 90s looking, but it's just easier to have a drawer full of pens right by where I write to begin with. I'm not sure if you're gonna be able to see this as well. I used to be a people person, but people ruined that for me. Do you ever just look at people and think, no thanks? Today was going great, tell people, okay, but why are people like this? And then Netflix and avoid people. So these are just funny. I hope they're dark enough. I know they're not going to be nearly as dark as this Pentel pen, but hopefully they'll at least be, like, dark enough for my old lady self to see. And I also don't have much lighting here. I don't have a ceiling light in my living room anymore, which is crazy because my last place had about 8 or 10 overhead lights just in the living room alone. There's just lights everywhere. It's really expensive to replace, but now I have like no ceiling light at all in the living room, and I have lamps, but those aren't nearly enough, so I can't really see enough to, like, pastel colors I'd never be able to see in here. And I'm hoping that if I have like a bright room, if I ever move, well, hopefully I'll move at some point, hopefully part of my inability to see some of the lighter inks that I used, 5-10 years ago, hopefully that's partly lighting. But anyway, so yeah, those are the pens that I've been using. I haven't really used as many pens this year, and also I don't alternate much. I've been sticking with the pen. Like, this is my nightstand pen. This is the pen I use like straight through until I use it up. And I didn't used to do that. I'd use a pen for a few pages or less and switch it out. So it's kind of a change. And my journaling is really a lot more plain and simple now. I was looking at some pages from like 2014 and 15, and the ones from 2015 especially were really decorative, and I had a lot of stickers and washi tape in there and some collages and all that stuff. And now my journals are mostly writing with a few things. Like if I go to a meeting for a group I'm in, I'll like cut the top of the agenda off with the logo and the date, so I'll throw in like tiny stuff like that, or a copy of my lease or something. But most of it's just straight up plain pages, and I really like that. It feels like there's more in my current journal than some of the past ones that I was looking through, or at least more writing, like more content. Anyway, it's getting kind of long, and my arm's gonna fall off. So have a good night. Bye.